Well, I mean, he's it's an interesting pedigree because it's got a thoroughbred influence in it, through Favorite Trick and Phone Trick, and so that is very pleasing to us. It also has a Brazilian connection there through the dam of good reason and the ownership, and good friends there that had him and raced him, and then you've got Carl's bottom side. I mean, you've got the Jess Perry, you've got the Leaving Memories, you've got the Tiny Skay. So almost without exception, except for Mr. Jess Perry, it's almost, for the most of the quarter horse industry today, he's almost a complete outcross, and that he offers an avenue for breeders today out of that genetic corner which many people have painted themselves in. He offers so much in terms of pedigree. It's almost 95% of the breed he can breed. And so when you're asking me as as somebody that's looking to try to make a stallion prospect, he removes so many of the barriers in terms of his race record, in terms of his pedigree, as you said. He's most appealing. He's the kind of horse that everybody desires.
So then we go into a schooling race. He breaks in his schooling race, and he breaks in, runs by him. I think he goes in there like 1350. They made me, before I could run him, they told me I had to gate him because he wants to break in. So finally, and he gated good that next time I gated him. And so then we brought him into the race. His maiden race, he was in the 10 hole.
So congestion to the outside, way well down at the rail. Sisters Leaving You Hard Times is right there, now drifting him and coming on. A big run from Just Good Candy. Just Good Candy battles for the front now. Sisters Leaving You still there. Hard Times in between runners. Gold Medal Okie. Just Good Candy gets him by a half length.
Especially at Remington early in his career, it was like he really just wanted to look at the grandstand and lug in away from the crowd. And he won easily and impressive in hand, because I never did really let him extend himself because he was wanting to drift in. And we knew he had an unbelievable fast horse, especially if we could get him to put all of his efforts towards running a straight, strong race.
His maiden race, he was in the 10 hole, and he blowed out of there pretty straight, lugged in just a little bit, but when he made the front, GR just took a hold, put his feet in the dash, horse had his tail up, head up, and he just cruising, beat some daylight.
You can go back even a little further to this horse's first time when GR rode him in Remington, his maiden race. I remember him winning from the outside easy. He looked good on the outside, and going to Clint's barn the next morning and right away asking Clint, I said, hey, is he going to Ruidoso? He said, yeah, he's paid into the All-American. And I told him, I said, this is your All-American winner. So this horse is All-American winner. And so ever since then, his first out, I always bugged Clint, like, hey, Clint, there's a big horse over there. What about letting us take him? We'll take him. And that's, he's GR's horse. He's GR's horse, but Clint is well said from the get-go, if the opportunity ever comes around that he can't ride the horse, then, you guys will.
Yeah, Rhino actually since Remington, he kind of called it. He's like, this is an All-American horse just because he was so big, he could go the distance. He was a 440 horse. And I just kind of, because he always talks about different horses, and yeah, he knows what he's doing. He knows his horses. But at the time, just pick an All-American horse just like that, it's kind of difficult, really.
On the Ruidoso, you get up in the mountain. I'm assuming you probably go over and get on the horse a couple times.
Yeah.
Do you feel this horse blossoming before? I guess was it the Ruidoso Futurity?
Ruidoso Futurity, yeah. He was doing really good because he was lightly seasoned. It had just really the perfect number of starts that you'd want one going into Ruidoso. It had that training race, the maiden race at Remington, and that set him up just right for the trials Ruidoso.
After his maiden victory, we take him to Ruidoso. He'd had plenty of gate works. He'd had schooling races. He'd had several works, 2 or 3 works at Remington. We get into Ruidoso Futurity trial. I believe he's in the 9 hole, and he rears up in the gates. And so the header, I'm behind the gates, and the header gets up here on him and hears him down. So I was like, oh no, we're not going to break. And sure enough, he broke.
Great break for Jess Good Candy toward the outside. Then it's Candy Coast followed by Ms. Dynasty. And then inside of that is Trace Friends. Here comes Candy Coast. Candy Coast, Ms. Dynasty, and Jess Good Candy. Jess Good Candy holding them off. Jess Good Candy from Candy Coast, Ms. Dynasty, and Trace Friends.
Gets out there about 250 yards, starts that little lugging in. And GR has to kind of correct him.
He ran a pretty good race that day, but he was still wanting to do the drift in deal just a little bit.
You know, we're on pins and needles, you know, because there he is fifth, you know, and we have about 16 races that day, you know. And so he's fifth. And that last race, he got bumped out. He was the sixth for the day. And so we decided to not run him in the consolation, not take that chance, just save him for the All-American.
Well, and looking in hindsight, that might have been a blessing because that allowed Clint to give him some time off before the All-American trials. The time off really did him some good. And if he would have made the finals for Ruidoso Futurity, you know, we would have probably ran him back in there, and he might have not had the end result that we did while winning the All-American.
Missed qualifying to the Futurity by, I don't know, thousandth of a second. I brought him back to the barn, and I noticed we popped a splint on his right front. And we qualified another horse to the juvenile, so I told Rosella, I said, we need to wait. I said, you know, I know he needs the out for the experience, but we got to get that splint healed up. I said, we have the time. Just, you know, trust me, I can get him. I can keep him fit. I can have him ready, but we're gonna have to give him the time that it's gonna take to heal it. If I run him, it's gonna set us back, and we're gonna be in trouble when it comes trial day.
Clint had laid him off for about a month, and then when we started him back, Clint did a really good job of identifying his horse. That he seemed like he lost more than he planned on him losing by training him really light, because he had just a little minor shin on him, and so that made Clint actually give him one more work than he planned on doing, and it was really good job of training by Clint to identify where his horse was at and do the things he needed to do to get him ready.
You know, I talked to Brad Bolin, and I asked him if I could use his aquasizer, and he's got an aquasizer down there in his barn. And so I took Jess Good Candy down there, and I put him in that thing 2 to 3 days a week for 30 days. Kept him off the racetrack. And, you know, GR was a little worried about it. He's like, you know, we got to get this horse back on the track. I said, well, we're going to get that leg healed. I said, we're going to keep him fit by keeping him in that aquasizer. And so we kept him the aqua treadmill. And so we kept him, that's how we kept him fit. And I started back galloped him, I don't know, 7, 8, 10 times. You know, he's already acting like he's wanting to breeze again, so we give him a light little breeze. Came out of it perfect.
Be sure to catch all the upcoming chapters of Making of a Sire Jess Good Candy by logging on to StallionEsearch.com.